Hi everyone. Yeah, just went to do the stream tonight because I've never tried this before. There's quite a few interview tapes, of people being interviewed about the Manson case that CLODrive.com have put on YouTube, and we've been talking about the Golden Penetrators, obviously, haven't we? And Gregg Jakobson was one of them, and there's four different tapes of Gregg Jakobson to listen to, and I was thinking we could listen to two of them tonight. And there's also the transcripts of him in court as well, but there's quite a lot of that. So I thought, yeah, maybe if we just listen to the tapes. But he seems to generally just he's asking them about Manson and Manson's life philosophy and all that sort of thing. He's talking to Bugliosi for some reason. So yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But I'll just say hello to everyone since this is a live stream. Yeah, it's Christmas as well. If you're watching this on playback, that'll mean nothing to you, will it? But yeah, it's Boxing Day, as we call it in England or the UK. So the day after Christmas Day. Have you had a good Christmas, everyone? Yeah. John Benet Ramsey. 20th day, wasn't it Christmas Eve? Sorry. It was Christmas Eve, wasn't it? And it was Christmas Day that they found her dead, I'm sure. This is the day after Christmas Day, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Or was it on Christmas Day? And so yeah, they found her today. I'm not sure. I thought it was Christmas Eve though. I've got a noise cancelling headset as well, so yeah, let me know if it sounds all right. You can hear me, and hopefully that's cutting out the noise of my fan as well. Yeah, the 26th. Oh, sorry. Makes it hard to drink coffee. Yeah, I'll get on to playing the tapes. Pretty sharpish, and I'll just sort of just keep stopping to discuss it. But yeah, Greg Jakobson, this is the talent scout that worked for Terry Melcher, and he supposedly found Charles Manson and showed him to Terry Melcher. So he also met him. Ah, so you're not hearing the fan. That's good. Yeah. Right. I'll start this going. But yeah, this is like the talent scout that supposedly found Charles Manson for Terry Melcher. But Terry Melcher had also met him at Dennis Wilson's house because he'd like moved in around Dennis Wilson's house apparently, hadn't he as well?
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing.
CielaDrive.com audio archives.
Let me know. Shit, no.
Greg, as you know, we're now on tape. Yes. You've been interviewed several times already by various members of the Los Angeles Police Department.
Gets a bit clearer than this.
And Mr. Silvers and I also spoke to you a month or so ago. The primary reason for bringing you here today, Greg, is to speak very, very clearly. The fact that we're on tape, just forget about that. That doesn't have any significance whatsoever. We'll talk like if we weren't even on tape. The primary reason why I want to talk to you today, Greg, is to find out Manson's philosophy on life. In very simple terms, what was his philosophy on life? I understand from Terry that he knew Charlie Manson quite well and had quite a few discussions with him. When did you first meet Mr. Manson? Early summer of '68. You met him at Dennis Wilson's house? Right. When is the last time that you had a conversation with Charles Manson? As near as I can figure it, it would be in late August or September of '69. During that intervening period, how many times did you estimate you had conversations with Charles Manson? Well, so memorable that I couldn't count. I suppose 100 is a good guess. Where did most of these conversations take place? Oh, down at Dennis's house, or at my house, where Dennis was living with me, or at the ranch. Farm ranch, yeah. And did you have long philosophical discussions with him? Quite often, yes. I found his philosophy on life to be rather interesting or exciting, as it were. I found them very interesting and very original. I found them stimulating. Intellectually stimulating? Yeah, they were intellectually stimulating, yes. All right. Also, it was stimulating to find a man who believed in his convictions as much as Charlie did, and who couldn't be swayed, who had an argument for every one that you could throw up.
Well, in line with that, it has been said, as you indicated. Yes, come on in.
I had one more question.
Yeah.
I understood that Pat Brown was on the calendar for Tuesday.
Tentatively, 11 o'clock Tuesday morning, right? For arraignment.
She's not in town yet, is that right?
No.
Where was she?
I imagine she'll be taken over to Civil Grand as soon as she arrives, yeah. Okay. Now, in line with that, people have said that Charlie
Yeah,
Manson
it is
had a
difficult,
lot
isn't
of
it?
faces, like a comedian.
It is hard to hear what they're saying, isn't it? It does get clearer at some points. We have the hiss of the machine is just so bad, isn't it? All of them are like this as well. That's the frustrating thing. Pretty why I haven't done this much. But I heard, yeah, he was saying about his philosophy of life. What's his philosophy of life? And he's saying where he met him at Dennis Wilson's house and at his house when Dennis was staying with him, he said as well. And also, Bugliosi said, didn't he, Terry knew him quite well. So they're talking about knowing him quite well. And Terry was tried to play down how well he knew him, didn't he? That's it. Yeah, it is really hard to hear it. I recommend wearing headphones. But yeah, it's very difficult to listen to. We'll try more. It does get a bit clearer at certain points, you know.
Did he make any statement to you in that regard? Change his personality or his disposition or his posture based on who he was talking to?
Absolutely, he had a face or a mask for every level or walk of life that he ran across.
Did he ever say
And
that?
I used to say that he had a thousand faces. And if you use them all.
He told you that he had 1,000 faces.
Oh, yeah.
These were his words.
Yeah.
He told you that he had a mask for everyone.
Yeah.
And why did he have 1,000 faces and why did he have to wear a mask?
Well, so he could deal with everybody on their own level.
It's interesting you said this about, yeah, Manson talked about masks, having a different mask for every person. And masking is a thing in psychology that people do. Um, Psychopaths are supposed to mask, and also there's autistic masking as well. People are autistic mask. It just basically means doing a neutral facial expression to hide your anxiety or whatever. Basically, yeah. But psychopaths mask to hide their true feelings. But yeah, so it's interesting that he comes out with this. He's saying Manson talks about having a mask for every man, every different person, different mask for every person.
From the ranch hand at farm to girl on the strip to me.
So it was his words then that he had 1,000 faces and he has to wear a different mask for every person he comes across. These were his words.
Yeah.
What was Mr. Manson's philosophy about death vis-a-vis life?
Well, there was no death to Charlie's way of thinking.
No death.
The concept, it's a very esoteric concept in question. It has to do with the Indian philosophy on the physics.
Jacobson sounds stoned or something, doesn't he? He's kind of slurring his speech, which makes it even harder to understand what they're saying. Sounds like there's some kind of air conditioner in the room with them as well as the tape hiss, doesn't it, as well? But yeah, listen to Gregg Jakobson's voice. He does sound kind of stoned or something.
Peacefulness of life, that when it comes to an end, there is no end, only a physical change. In other words, the key word being change. There's just a change.
The word change seems to be a common word used by the family all the time. What does the word change mean to the family?
Change or change?
Yeah, that is a very common thing as well. Yeah, so we're talking about the word changes. You hear them say it constantly. And in Texas Psychiatry Report, he talks about it. The girls are constantly talking about it. The word change and going through changes. And in the Hendrickson documentary, they're all talking about being put through change by Charlie and all that, aren't they? Yeah, this is where he's talking about that.
It means changes. It's a popular underground word that means what you go through in everyday life changes. I'm going through changes over something, over anything.
Does the word change encompass not only physical changes, but mental and emotional changes?
Oh, absolutely.
More mental and emotional than physical.
Yes.
But it also includes physical.
Yeah, but it really means about mental and emotional. That's what they're talking about. In other words, they're talking on a mental and intellectual level, so that's what it means. Even though Charlie would never say that he is an intellectual, he is. He intellectualizes his whole way through life.
So death was just a change.
Yes.
He did not believe that the soul was dead.
No, the spirit can't die.
He believed that the body needs to live.
The body comes to its end, yes.
What did he believe?
And it was very unimportant.
What did he believe would happen to the soul?
It went on, either to a higher plane or came back.
Something analogous to the Rosicrucian faith?
Yes, or in a reincarnation, or it went on to a higher plane.
Did he ever mention the Rosicrucian?
Not that I think of. I'm not familiar.
Did he borrow heavily from Far Eastern religion?
Yes, he gleaned from whatever religion he wanted to take from that what he wanted. Even from the medieval philosophy.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to unmute my mic when I was talking then, didn't I? But yeah, the stuff about the changes and the surveillance tape. It was what I said was these are actually the interview tapes, but it's probably a copy of the tape, isn't it? That's why the sound is so poor quality. It's not even the original tape. Wasn't that good anyway. Probably the quality. Yeah, that's it. I've unmuted the mic now. But yeah, going on about Manson's philosophy of life, obviously.
Before we get into the details, did he mention any particular Eastern religion?
No, not. He didn't say Buddhism or Hinduism. Followers of this form or anything like that. No. He was aware of the holy men and the sages. The man dressed in white.
In addition to being aware of them, what was his position with respect to them?
Well, he believed that here I have to go into race karma, black karma, white karma, and Indian karma. He believed that they were the closest. They were the most evolved.
The Far Eastern people?
Yeah.
When you use the word karma, what do you mean?
Well, karma means comeback. It means action, reaction. The smile you send out will return to you. The bad deeds you do will return to you.
Did you ever hear any philosophy by him to the effect that what you do to someone else, you're doing to yourself?
Yes.
Did he
On this basis, it says that he believed you could do no wrong. That there was no bad. It was all good.
Yeah, it doesn't work on live streams, does it? Closed captions, yeah, but I don't think that would help in this case. The recording is so bad. They're automatically generated, aren't they? I don't think it'll be able to pick up any more than we can with our ears, to be quite honest. Yeah. On playback, you better do it. It won't help, I don't think.
I can understand it. It means you're following your own karma. Even if it is bad, you're still doing what you're supposed to do. It's so involved. I mean, I can't. I am only an amateur when it comes to that. It's those exercises of years.
But he did tell you that, I'm interested in his words.
Yeah.
Did he tell you that if you do something to someone else, you're doing it to yourself?
Yes.
Did he say this frequently?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. It's not part of his problem.
Did he believe that?
When you're making love, you're making love.
Did he believe that if you killed someone, you were killing yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. But then there's so many levels. He said he was dead. He died a long time ago. They can't kill me. I'm dead anyway. I was killed a long time ago.
He used to say that you can't tell me I'm dead. I died a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yet he didn't believe in death.
Well, not as death in the sense of that somebody comes to an end. death exists in physical. I don't know if he grasped that, but that's what we used to argue philosophically all the time. Yeah.
And you get that about Charlie saying, yeah, he's already dead. He died a long time ago. He did say that a lot. That's a line he comes out with quite a lot in interviews as well, isn't it? Yeah, and it does seem very much like he leads everyone, and he doesn't really like tell him anything about what they were doing. You know what I mean? It's like it's all kind of pointless. The questions he's asking him. What has this got to do with anything? You know, really, with their motive for murdering people. You know. Well, this is it. You know, he wanted to make out that this was the entire motive, didn't he? Yeah. So yeah, that's. This is where you hear him telling people that there's actually the interview. I don't know if it's the police interview or Bugliosi talking to him, but Weber as well, the guy whose garden they were hosing off in, his tapes. To listen to them.
Objective and subjective, and the marriage of the two. The big toe is put to your head. That's what you used to say. That's what I used to say. Right? You used to disagree with you. Used to disagree. You believed it was all in the head. It was all subjective.
Can you make any other statement to you or express any other philosophy about death and life? The emphasis on death.
Just that death was a fear that is born in man's head and can be taken out of man's head, and then it would no longer exist.
Do you remember any particular instance wherein this philosophy of his was manifested? That people shouldn't fear death, shouldn't fear
he used to take like people for rides in cars and deliberately just, try to scare the hell out of them, or they told that story about the match.
All right. Why don't you relate that story?
Well, there was one of the hands out the ranch had burned himself very badly on the wrist.
You know who that was?
No, I don't. It was something like that.
It wasn't a member of the family.
No. It was one of the wranglers. And Charlie went over to him and took out a cigarette, a pack of matches out of his pocket, and began talking to him, saying, "Listen, buddy, there's no such thing as pain." And while he was talking, he took a match and held up his finger.
Okay, hold on. Hello? I'm very busy, Ron. Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Go ahead. Held it on his finger. The man.
Piss off, Ron. I'm busy. Yeah, so it's so hard to hear what they're saying, isn't it? It's frustrating. Like I say, you can go to these recordings yourself and listen to them with headphones and try and decipher a bit more of it. But basically, yeah, he's just getting him to talk about, Charlie Manson when he talks about death and that they shouldn't fear death and all that. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know where Capone is. Oh, yeah, Mark. It's weird. Yeah, it's Boxing Day, so yeah, maybe he's drunk. But yeah, Capone wasn't at the last stream either, was he? And I haven't heard anything from him, so that's strange. I hope he's all right. I know he moved recently. Yeah, there wasn't any of the extreme. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's what they say. That's what he said on the tape. Yeah, it's an underground world. Yeah, Bowie's song in it. Yeah, did the song changes. Yeah. Mm. No, you can't do closed captioning on a live stream, can you? You can only do it on a video. So, but I don't think it will help in this case, honestly, because the words are so unclear. They're just automatically generated, aren't they? So it won't be able to hear any better than we can. Yeah. This is it. I think they're probably copies as well. It's like a copy of the tape too. Yeah. 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 I'm gonna try and clean them up. Maybe you can run them through software and remove hiss from them. I did it with the Leslie tapes, but it didn't really make that much difference. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's keep listening to this because there's another one to listen to as well. If we get through this one.
Saw what he was doing and began to agree with him that, there wasn't any pain. And soon went back and finished the work on the car he was doing. He burned his hand on the radiator. And he did this in front of about 10 other people too. And everybody was doing it. Right?
Was the flame of the match close to Charlie's finger?
Yes. I held it right in his finger.
Did it burn Charlie's finger?
Well, apparently not. He didn't show it.
So he did this to illustrate that there was no such thing as pain.
Yeah, but it was in the man's head.
Did he believe that certain races or certain groups of people were superior to other races or groups of people?
Well, I don't know if the word superior applied, but he did believe there were certainly different levels when it came to the races.
This was quite clear. The bit where he's talking about the race stuff, yeah, you can hear this quite clearly.
Higher as opposed to lower?
Yes.
Who occupied,
as opposed to less?
who occupied the higher levels and who occupied the lower levels, and relate what he said with respect to that?
Well, in respect, mainly to the black race and the white race. The white race certainly occupied a higher level. I'm not sure where he would stand on the Indian race, on the red man or the Eastern Indian. But the main conflict with Charlie was between the black and the white man.
Okay, what did he say about that?
Well, he believed that the black man's sole purpose of being on Earth was to serve the white man, all the way from being the president of the United States down to being the police officers and the people who prepared food.
Are you saying then that Charlie advocated that Negroes be president?
Ultimately, yes.
And that Negroes be the police?
Yes.
And that Negroes be the legislators?
Yes.
But in their capacities as president, and legislator, and police, their sole purpose and objective was to serve the white man.
Was to serve the white man.
Not to dominate or issue orders.
No. To serve the white man. Serve the white man's meaning.
Did he make any statement to you with respect to people who occupy higher levels becoming physically and sexually involved with those who occupy lower levels?
He believed.
E.g., a white man having sexual intercourse with a Negro.
Yeah, well, Charlie would definitely frown on that because he believed that
Excuse me.
choose and pick your mate very carefully.
Your sexual mate.
Yes, right. Because the offspring you would be making love in the future to that offspring. You'd be making love to yourself, in other words, in Charlie's words.
You mean at a later time?
Well, yeah, he never said that, but of course. On the level that we're speaking now, there is no time. It's a timeless level. It's hard to shake that off, but that's what there was no time.
In other words,
time is a way of measuring infinity. It's something man invented. Truly, it truly is.
in other words, he believed in being very selective and discriminating in whom a person has sexual intercourse with.
Absolutely.
There's a bit there he says that a black person and a white person having a child together is like making love to yourself, or it will cause you to make what? It's like, what the hell? Yeah. How does this make sense? Did it make sense to them at the time? It seems to make sense to Gregg Jakobson. He's explaining it.
Because of the danger of procreation.
Absolutely.
And that eventually, if you had sexual intercourse with a Negro, the child would be Negro, and ultimately you would be having sexual intercourse with your own child.
Right. You would be
What?
interfering with the path of evolution. You would be mixing up
Explain that again, Greg.
nervous systems, which a less evolved nervous system was a more evolved nervous system. In other words, going back to nature naturally. A favorite thing is, and I mentioned it too, is a cheetah doesn't make love with a leopard. They don't.
Did he say that?
No, I think I said that. He agreed wholeheartedly. But he seemed to have another one that was equally valid. In other words, you can live in peaceful coexistence with him, but you don't mix it up. The cheetah making love with the leopard is a popular saying in Eastern philosophy. You don't mix.
Did he look up to these wives of these sages?
Oh, yeah.
Like the Maharishi?
Yes.
Several people have told the police in their investigation of the case that Charlie somehow envisioned a black-white revolution. Did he ever talk to you about that?
Yeah, that was helter-skelter. He believed it was going to happen in the near future, almost immediately. Whatever immediately meant to Charlie.
What did he say about this black-white revolution? How would it come about, and what would it encompass?
It would begin in the homes, black men going into white people's
doesn't he? He seems to get progressively worse. He sounds like he's like falling asleep the further the interview goes. I wonder if he gave him a sedative at the beginning of the interview and it's gradually kicking in as he takes it. Yeah. And now he's talking about the Helter Skelter race war thing. And Chris is going, yeah.
Ripping off the white people, physically destroying them, until it finally spread to open revolution in the streets. So until they finally won and took over. And then black man would assume the white man's karma. He would then be the establishment. He would then be one bank owner.
Charlie
He did, apparently, didn't he?
That in the physical confrontation between the black man and the white man, the black man would prevail.
Yes.
Why do you think they would prevail?
Because it's their turn. He believes it's black man's turn. White man has said, no, black man has to, white man will go on to another level. He will go on to a more spiritual level, leaving the more worldly possessions behind, because it's black man's turn to have those worldly possessions. Being that they are left evolved, they have to have their turn at it. They're the last race to have their turn at it.
Did Charlie say that during this revolution he was going to seek refuge in the desert?
Yeah, we're going to go underground. They're going to just find the hole and go into it.
Why was he going to go into the desert?
Well, he believed that that's the only place he could get away from black man. Black man wasn't going to go in the desert. It was hot out there. Sunny. He didn't want to. He's been out there all his life. He's been seeing cities and shaving and drilling.
Was the word pig a part of Charlie's vocabulary? Everyone seems to say it was, and I'm just asking you.
He never used it a lot. He referred to it in the context of the Beatles more than anything else, whom he really looked to for spiritual inspiration, let's say.
What about the establishment?
Sure, that would be his interpretation, because it's the interpretation that is in the Beatles song.
Okay, now, did Charlie ever refer to the establishment as pig?
Not in so many words that I can remember. It's not uncommon, though. It's,
Right. Well, what impression did you get when he used the word pig? About whom was he talking?
Establishment, the white collar man.
Did he ever speak disparagingly about the white collar man?
I just believe that he was, he believed that he was wrong. His life was a waste.
Too much emphasis on material possessions?
Absolutely.
Right, and then we got the next one. Then we got this tape.
CieloDrive.com audio archives.
How's the volume on this? Can you hear it all right? Yeah.
Now, with respect to the Beatles, would you say that Charlie worshipped the Beatles?
Well, I wouldn't use that word, but it's
This one actually sounds clearer, doesn't it?
Certainly. Look at them as leaders, as the leaders.
Did he speak about the Beatles a lot?
Yeah, whenever there was a pertinent point he could make, he would certainly use them. He would quote them.
I have an album here, as a white cover, front and back. Have you ever seen this album before?
Yeah.
Okay, did you ever see this album, not this particular one, but a copy of this album in Mr. Manson's possession?
Yeah.
When was that?
Out of the ranch. As soon as it came out, I'm not sure when it came out, but I know I was aware of it in the middle of 69. I don't really know when it came out.
I don't know how he got a copy of this. Did he just go and buy himself, or did he tell one of the girls to do it?
Well, his normal way of preparing anything would be to have the girls get it.
Well, it did sound clear. Gregg is slurring, isn't he?
Do you recall his telling the girls to get the record player in and out?
No, I wasn't there. When I came off the ranch, there was a record player that I'd never seen before in the New Beatle album.
Okay. Did you hear Charlie play the Beatle album?
Yeah, they played it a lot.
You heard him play this particular Beatle album a lot on its Swan Radio.
Oh yeah, during the course of an evening or during the day, we just keep going.
With Charlie,
and the Beatles, not the Beach Boys.
Yeah, it was played so often that he would be present sometimes not. It was just sort of played continuously.
The same Beatle album.
Yeah, that was the current Beatle album.
Any favorite songs that Charlie played more than others, or would he play the beginning to the end of the album?
Well, yeah, I think they would play the beginning to the end. Different people had different favorites.
What were Charlie's favorites, if you know?
Well, he spoke mostly of Revelation 9.
Now, before you go into that, and I'm going to talk at a later time about Revelation 9, which is the last book of the New Testament. But before we go into that, one of these songs in here is Revolution 9. It's not Revelation 9. Did Charlie ever make any statement to you that he believed Revolution 9 meant Revelation 9?
He meant to be one and the same, to his way of looking at it.
Did he tell you that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
That Revolution 9 was the Beatles' rendition or version or whatever you want to call it of Revelation 9.
Yes, he believed that they were singing about Revelation 9.
He believed that the Beatles were talking about Revelation 9 when they coined this song, Revolution 9.
Yeah, it was the Beatles' way of telling people of what was going to happen. It was their way of needs of prophecy.
Yeah, people have said this over the years. Yeah, it does look like they made such a big deal about the Beatles because actually Manson was really involved with the Beach Boys, wasn't he? So to draw attention away from the Beach Boys, they made it all about the Beatles and his liking the Beatles and all this. And now Gregg Jakobson is sitting here saying that Manson told him all this as well. So Gregg Jakobson must have spent a long time with him. You know what I mean? They played down how well they knew him. To know all this in so much detail, he must have spent quite a while with him. So, you know.
Did you ever hear Revolution 9? That song? You heard it played out there, I think.
Oh, yeah, I have the album myself.
Yeah. Okay, it's a pretty wild song, right?
Right.
I mean, even in the offbeat hippie community, I'm sure they play music like this, but this one seems to be particularly weird and strange.
Well, yeah, in the sense that it's pretty indistinguishable. There's not much that you can understand.
Now, okay, hold on. Hello? Yeah. Who's it? Yeah, Dave. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, Ronnie, where were we when we left off? Oh, this very weird song. Now, somewhere in that song, there are words. And it sounds like the guy is saying rise a couple times. Do you hear the word rise in that song, Revolution 9?
It's been so long since I've heard it, I don't, but it's quite possible. I'd have to listen to it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
I think it's in a minute. You get Bugliosi saying words to Piggies. He goes all the way through all the words to Piggies.
Printed lyrics for that song?
No, that's the only one that doesn't have any printed lyrics, but I've heard the song, and there definitely are words in there, and it sounds like the guy's saying rise. Did Charlie play Revolution 9 quite a bit?
Oh, yeah. Revelation 9 and Blackbird and Helter.
About that as well, he said in Chaos that Dennis Wilson had gone so crazy by this time that they couldn't put him on the stand. He was too nuts. So that's why Terry Melcher had to, so Dennis Wilson didn't, sort of thing. But yeah, you would think that Dennis Wilson wouldn't have been able to get out of testifying, would you? But apparently he'd gone so nuts he couldn't testify by this point, so they couldn't make him testify. This is why Gregg Jakobson and Terry Melcher had to.
Now, in Blackbird, let's put on the words of this song. Did he place any interpretation on the words of Blackbird?
Well, I do believe that the whole song referred to the black man.
Blackbird referred to the black man.
Spread your wings and learn to fly and so on. You know.
Now, at the end of the last three lines is, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive.
Right.
A-R-I-S-E.
Oh, yeah, right. So there's importance there, arise, and on this moment. In other words, the moment is now, and Charlie believed it was going to start happening.
But the black man was going to arrive.
Arise, sure.
To fight the white man and take over.
Take his turn, right.
Did Charlie use the word arise?
He's looking for the word arise, yeah, which is in Blackbird, obviously, as well, isn't it? But there's another Beatles song called Golden Slumbers that actually has the word rise in it as well, and I think that is on the White Album. That's so I looked that up earlier. It's a Beatles song, a Beatles album with the word song with the word rise in it. And there is, of course, yeah, he's talking about Blackbird, but there is another song. And of course, rise is what they wrote on the wall at the La Biancas, isn't it? Horrible.
That part of his vocabulary?
I don't remember him using it a lot, but well, I just can't recall. It's quite possible. I suppose I really don't remember the specific word arise being used a lot.
Well, did he use the word rise? That the black man was going to rise up?
Yeah, they were going to rise up.
Are these his words? I can't put words in your mouth.
No. He did say that. Sure, they were going to rise up and turn on Whitey and take their turn.
So the Blackbird to Charlie was the black man.
Right.
And in Charlie's mind, the Beatles were meaning to convey this thought in that song.
Yeah. They were prophesying.
So he thought the Beatles had the good word then.
Oh, yeah. Sure. He believed, like it says in Revelation.
It was actually probably more the girls than anyone that liked the Beatles. And you have to remember, Charles Manson was older than them as well. He didn't even like the Beatles. This was all a load of bullshit that Manson was obsessed with the Beatles. To him, the Beatles were teeny bopper music. He liked he liked different music. He didn't even like the Beatles. It's all bullshit. It was really the girls that were into listening to the Beatles, weren't it? Really. That's it. Yeah, the girls were into the Beatles, not Tex and Charlie or anything like that. It's just all rubbish.
But they are the 4 angels who are bringing this to
Yeah, we're going to get into that later. There's another song here called Piggies. Incidentally, before
Yeah, this
I
is
go
it. He knows all the words to Piggies.
Charlie used to quote the words of these songs.
Yeah.
He knew them verbatim?
Verbatim. Both passages.
Did he know Blackbird verbatim?
Yeah.
Did he know Piggies verbatim?
Yeah.
Did he know Helter Skelter verbatim?
Yeah.
Any other ones in here verbatim?
Not that I can. Those 3 stand out. There's a lot of songs, 35 songs in that.
Yeah. Okay, going back to Piggies, the words are, have you seen the little piggies crawling in the dirt? And for all the little piggies, life is getting worse, always having dirt to play around in. Have you seen the bigger piggies in their starched white shirts? Well, before I go into that, what about the first paragraph? What do you mean by that? The little piggies crawling in the dirt, life is getting worse. What do you mean by that? What did he think the Beatles meant by that?
I think he thought they were referring to the young, and life was getting worse for them, but all of them being the establishment.
Piggies referred to the establishment.
Yeah.
The second paragraph, have you seen the bigger piggies in their starched white shirts? You will find the bigger piggies stirring up the dirt, always have clean shirts to play around in. And Charlie, talk about that passage.
I don't remember so many words, but I know that the reference here again would be that this was the establishment, the piggies.
In their styles, with all their backing, they don't care what goes on around. In their eyes, there's something lacking. What they need is a damn good whacking.
Right.
Do you remember Charlie quoting that phrase, what they need is a damn good whacking?
I think too, I think you remember that. I think he referred to it as the black man was going to give them a damn good whacking.
The black man was going to give the white piggy a good whacking.
Right.
And then he goes on, everywhere there's lots of piggies living piggy lives. You can see them out for dinner with their piggy wives, clutching forks and knives to eat their bacon.
Yeah, apparently George Harrison hated the song because of this, because of the Manson murders. Yeah, he regretted writing the song. But Helter Skelter, the actual subject matter of the song Helter Skelter is so removed from murders. Like, you can't really feel guilty about that. But yeah, but obviously the forks and knives thing, what they did to Leno. Yeah, I think it haunted George Harrison. Yeah.
Remember anything about that? Anything about that?
No, I don't, except I know that Charlie wasn't a meat eater. Now I don't know how he would interpret that.
What was his overall interpretation? Now, you've given me an interpretation of what he thought the Beatles were saying in the song Blackbird. What was his overall interpretation of what the Beatles were trying to say in the song Piggies?
There again, I'm sure he just thought that this.
No, not what he thought, but what he told you, if you remember.
Well, he used these things as arguments to back his belief that the revolution was at hand. All these things he would turn around to mean for him that, look out, man, all this stuff is coming down. It's time to choose sides.
Between the black and the white.
Right. Or leave, or go to the desert.
Now, in the song here, it says, what they need is a damn good whacking. Did Charlie feel that the establishment needed a good whacking? Or did he feel that the Negroes felt this way?
Well, I think that he believed that it was time for them to get their whacking. In other words, that's his belief of the karma-turn.
Did you feel that Charlie was anti-establishment?
Oh, absolutely.
Did he say he was anti-establishment?
Well, he lived. His lifestyle was that of anti-establishment. He couldn't make it in the city.
Did you hear him speak frequently about white collared workers having too much and placing too much emphasis on material possessions and things like that?
Well, having gotten into Charlie philosophy and personal outlook, it was a foregone conclusion. That wouldn't even be discussed. I mean, in other words, he already knew that I knew that that's the way he felt about this stuff. That's the underground freedom. Too much importance is being placed on the material. Not enough.
He's getting incoherent again, isn't he? Some parts of this are clearer than the first one though. Luckily, we're about halfway through it. But yeah, this is like the more about the racial thing. But yeah, he seems to know it very well, doesn't he, Gregg Jakobson? It's like he's not being told it by Bugliosi now. They've rehearsed it before. I reckon. I reckon this isn't the first time they've met and talked about all this, and he's just reciting back what he's been told to say. Yeah, I wonder what this was for as well, because he did testify in the trial. It's the 20th of February, so that's like yeah, way before any of it began, isn't it? Of 1970. Yeah, yeah. That's it. He's coaching him definitely, but Greg Jacobson is coming out with a lot himself already, isn't he? Like he's already been coached by someone. Like they've already got all this down. And the more you watch about the Manson stuff as well, you know the Paul Watkins as well. They all say the same stuff, so obviously they were taught it by someone. Probably is what they've heard from Charles Manson, isn't it? Obviously, but or was it though? That's the thing. Did Bugliosi teach them it?
Going on to the song Helter Skelter, uh, before we go into the song, what did Charlie mean by Helter Skelter?
That was the revolution
Between the blacks and the whites.
Yeah. That was the final concentration.
Apart from confrontation between the blacks and the whites.
Like the weathermen, it was a political thing, wasn't it? The word pig. The Black Panthers used the word pig as well, and the weathermen stood a pig for the Senate, didn't they, and all that sort of thing. Oh no, sorry, was that one? I meant that one, didn't I? Yeah, and they use the word rise? That's it. But I think it's like someone else said. It was he took advantage of the girls' admiration of the Beatles. Do you know what I mean? And he saw a way to manipulate the girls' heads through the lyrics of the Beatles. I don't think it was that he liked the Beatles. He saw how much the girls were into the Beatles, and so he tried to use it to his advantage to mess with their heads further. Yeah. Bug of Leverage. Yeah. Yeah, well, they all had a lot to cover up, didn't they? Do you have leverage on Jacobson? And well, like I say, Melcher as well. Uh, had a lot to like potentially cover up, didn't he? But yeah, people we've been talking about this in my group as well. That last stream I did, where there's the quote from Chaos from this guy, from that guy, and no one knows who he is. No one else has heard of this guy. He just pops up in Chaos and says that he saw the girls going to executive parties for Terry Melcher, and that Manson met Doris Day, and Doris Day said, "You're fucking crazy if you think I'll record an album for you," and that sort of thing. But no one knows who this guy is. So like, is some of this exaggerated? The Rudy Outerbelly stuff, I can believe Rudy Outerbelly said that, and he did have recordings of Rudy Outerbelly, didn't he? And he obviously saw everything, didn't he? Because he was the landlord of the house these guys lived in, sort of thing. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think that this is the first time he's spoken about this with Bugliosi. I think they're probably just recording him now.
Charlie used the word helter skelter in his everyday conversation.
Just to warn people, look out, helter skelter is coming.
Did he ever use the word helter skelter to mean anything other than a black-white confrontation? Because other people have said that he did. They indicate that he used to use the word helter skelter all the time.
Well, not to me. To him, he may have bastardized it to mean any sort of confrontation or violence. But overall, on the level we used to talk.
Again, but something weird happened with the maid as well. The maid shows up with her hand in a bandage, as if someone's done like broke her hand or something. To try to say to her, be careful what you say. She said she was in an accident getting out of a taxi or something. Yeah, yeah. And so I wonder if the maid was nobbled. And she disappeared for a little while as well. Like she went into hiding. She left without even taking her purse or anything. No one knew where she was, and she'd gone and stayed with friends. So yeah, there was funny stuff going on with the maid too. Hmm. Yeah, that's it. That was the I can't see for what I don't know that much about Doris Day, but from what I read recently about Doris Day, I don't think she'd have spoke like that as well. She wasn't the sort of woman who would have spoke like that. And it was the 60s as well, wasn't it? Women didn't swear. We still shouldn't.
I think it was meant, it referred to the final conversation between the black and the white.
Okay, are there any words I'm showing in the language? Are there any words in the song Helter Skelter that Charlie gave any particular significance to? Hello? Yeah. Yeah, tell him that, tell him there's a suspension.
No, nothing stands out for me.
He used to quote the lyrics of Helter Skelter, Piggies and Blackbird all the time. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Would he sing these songs or just quote the words?
No, he quote the words. He used them to corroborate his argument.
How do you feel that the Beatles got the good words?
He believed they were the leaders. They were the angels, like in Revelation 9. Spokesmen.
Okay. One of the songs in this album is called Sexy Sadie. Does that have any tie in with Sadie?
No, I was wondering about that.
That's about Sexy
I don't
Sadie.
really know.
The song Sexy
I can't
Sadie.
remember if she was known as Sadie before the song came out, or if that became her name after the song.
Yeah. Take a look at this, Greg. Do you see any other songs in here that have any particular significance to Manson?
Besides Helter Skelter, Blackbird,
and Piggies, yeah. And Revolution 9, of course.
No, I looked through it. I really can't.
Okay. I have here a copy of Revelation chapter 9. That's the Apocalypse, last book of the New Testament. I understand Charlie spoke to people constantly about it. Is that right?
Yeah.
And what did he say about chapter 9 of Revelation?
Well, he interpreted it to be what was going to happen now.
Again, between the blacks and the whites?
Yeah. Or on a greater scale, that it was time for the white man to come and return. And it says in Revelation 9 that 1/3 of the population will be destroyed, or 1/2 of the population will be destroyed. It was this time for them to be punished for all the things they've done to the black man, to the red man, to the yellow man.
It was time for the white man to be punished for all they've done to the black man?
Punishment might not be the right word. It was time for it to turn. Time means comeback. It means Smiley said that returns to you, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
If you do good, nothing but good will happen to you. If you do bad, nothing but bad will come of it. And he believes that white man has done bad.
Did Charlie ever show you Revelation 9?
Yes, he did. He handed me the Bible.
He handed you the Bible and opened up the Bible to chapter 9, Revelation.
I don't remember whether he opened it up or not, but he handed me the book and said, read it. And this was the first I'd heard of it, and I was very interested. Well, let me see it.
I'm not overly interested at this point in dates and places where you had the conversation. The main thing I'm trying to ascertain is his philosophy on life. Much of what you said, we've already heard from several other people. But your statement serves to
heard it from
corroborate
several
what
other people.
Said. And also, I think you've added.
Said he's heard it from several other people as well. So what did they all get together and put this together before they went and spoke to the cops? So yeah, we'll just talk about all the crazy philosophy stuff. None of the shagging of all these girls, even the ones that was underage. We'll just talk about all the race war shit.
Some additional insight into his philosophical approach to life.
It was really multifaceted, so it would be hard to. It would take a lot of people to put it all together.
Mm-hmm. Now, why don't you, Greg, why don't you pick up Revelation 9 here now and look at some of the words, read the lines, and as you go on, if Charlie mentions any particular clause or phrase in Revelation 9 and gave you what he thought it meant, his interpretation, his construction of the language, why don't you tell me what he said?
Thank you, yes.
Well, it speaks here at the bottom. Charlie believes that there was such a hole in the desert in this too. Like there's an underground people living up there, I guess, down under the desert floor. He wanted to find that. He wanted to go there.
Why do you want to go there?
He believed that would be the place to escape from helpless shelter. And it speaks of the four angels. It speaks of the five angels, which the Beatles were originally five. The first one died.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah. The parallels in here are astounding.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's a lot of credence there. You can say, oh, yeah, wait a minute. There are a lot of parallels.
The Beatles originally were five. That's when they started out, what, Lancaster, England? Or?
Yeah, right in Germany when they first started. And just before they hit with their first record, the fifth Beatles died.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't remember how or why they died.
All right, now talk about five angels in this.
It begins with five angels.
So it ends up with four.
Right, it ends with four.
And Charlie said that these five angels were the Beatles?
Yes. Yeah, he believed that this is what they were talking about. In other words, the Bible here was prophesying the future, and he believed that now, here it was happening now. See, in other words, he says, oh, well, sure, now's the time, here it is. Here are the four guys with long hair like hair as women have, as what the Bible says. Like fire and smoke and sulfur issuing from their mouths, the Beatles' vocal group. Do have long hair like women.
What the hell is that noise? Sounds like motorbikes just drove through the room or something, doesn't it? The sound is crazy. But yeah, so what now he's getting to, basically more, yeah. It's kind of Helter-Skelter rides, yeah. I've shown them all the Americans what a Helter-Skelter actually is, yeah. It's just a slide basically in it, yeah. That's it, and what the song as well, the Beatles song is actually just about a chaotic relationship, I think, yeah. There's nothing that would you think would inspire a race war, is there? No, definitely not. Oh, you believe the cast of Happy Days was sent here by God to save the Silver Children? Maybe. Yeah. Right, we're nearly at the end of this now then.
He's referring here to the white establishment emphasis on monetary and physical possession. Yeah, now let's just look at the Revelation 9 here first. They mention locusts in here. Did you say anything about locusts or scorpions?
Not that I can really put my finger on. He was aware of the fact that he was a Scorpio.
He thought he was a Scorpio? Or
he is, yeah, astrologically.
Yeah, he is a Scorpio.
Right. And there's some reports there are some parallels on Scorpio. The only animal or only living thing that can sing itself and die from itself, stand and so on like that.
He used to say that about himself?
And he was aware of that. We used to talk about it. He never placed too much importance on astrology, but yet he used to, it would come up in conversation from time to time, and he would give it a certain weight.
Did he ever say anything about the seal of God upon people's foreheads? Make me think about that.
Yeah, but I don't really remember much about it. I used to sort of interpret it to be the third eye, the communal plan that the Indians speak of, but I never really got into that with him. He said there would be a mark on people that you could tell. Now, what it was, I never really understood. I never got into it.
Did he place any significance in this?
Except that he would be able to see. He would be able to tell. he would be able to see the mark, whatever it was. He would know.
On a person's forehead?
On the person, whether it was on their forehead or their ear, I don't know. But
This mark
referred to me that he would be able to tell. People,
mark would designate what?
whether they were
With it?
yeah, right. Whether they could be trusted, whether they were with him or against him. He believed you had to be with him or against him. No.
There's a passage in here where they talk about the locusts on the earth. They were told not to harm the grass of the earth or any green growth or any tree.
Right.
But only those of mankind who have not the seal of God upon their forehead. They say anything about that?
No,
Is he saying there that it's all right to kill human beings, but not all right to hurt the grass or foliage or something like that?
yeah, my interpretation is that yes, to Charlie it didn't matter about killing human beings. There wasn't a death anyway. His way of thinking. So it didn't matter. Really.
You don't remember any particular construction he placed on this language?
No, I don't remember.
Is it right? Yeah, and there's more of them. There's two more. We can listen to them. I just want to see how well this video went. I don't know. I think it's so frustrating trying to listen to it. I don't think this will be a very popular video. Can't see people sitting through this. It's an exercise in futility trying to listen to it, isn't it? So it's frustrating with the Leslie tape as well because what she's saying is really quite riveting. She sounds absolutely crazy, but she's like she goes into great detail about the whole helter skelter thing and spells it all out. She's trying to help. Sounds like she's really trying to help explain it all in great detail. She says so much, but the tape quality is so bad it's really hard to hear what she's saying. Nightmare. Right, well, this has been going over an hour now. So, yeah, I might go to an after show pretty soon. I have to go and make myself another coffee, but I'll come back and do an after show. Thanks for coming, everyone, and for sticking it out this long, if you stayed this long, because, yeah, that was difficult to listen to, wasn't it? But, yeah, towards the end there, yeah, you was talking about, yeah, the Beatles. They thought the Beatles was angels or something as well, didn't they? Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, well, that's it. I used Audacity to remove some of the hiss from the Leslie tape, and I've uploaded it to archive.org. And it's slightly clearer, but not really a lot. But I think that Gregg Jakobson one there, yeah, if you did hiss removal on it, that would help. But his speech sounds really slurred. The more you listen to it, the more you notice it. It does sound like he's getting more and more stoned as the interview kicks in. Like he's giving him something at the beginning, and he's getting slowly more and more intoxicated. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is the Leslie Van Houten tape. Yeah, because you really want to hear what she's saying because it does sound really interesting, but it's really hard to hear what she's fucking saying. It's annoying. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, anyway, because this has gone over an hour, I'll end this one now and I'll come back and do an after show. But yeah, I say thanks for coming. And maybe Sunday I will do the end of this. But also, I found Terry Melcher's grand jury testimony. So I might talk about what Terry Melcher said at the grand jury. But I don't think he actually said very much. So it'll be quite a short one. But there'll be a stream at least. But yeah, so I'll see you Sunday if you don't come to the after show. If not, I'll see you in 5 minutes for the after show. Yeah, thanks for coming. Oh, and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So I'm nearly at 1,500 subscribers now. Excellent, right. Thanks.